I do something silly like that, you laugh hysterically.
Hi guys!
Hi everybody. We're doing an interview. We've gotten a lot of questions about the adjustment of status, even on videos that were totally, completely unrelated to immigration matters. So we're doing a little video now to address some of the timeline and some of the questions that we've gotten about the adjustment of status.
So yeah, I uploaded a video, guys, that...
You want to start, why don't you go back to the time you entered the U.S. She entered the U.S. August 1st last year, and then we scrambled around and got marriage things lined up, caterers and all the different things, and a venue and all that, and then the marriage ceremony itself was October 22nd. And so then we got various documents together for the adjustment of status forms to be filed. So we pulled all that together, sent it off February the 2nd, I think, to the attorney. We used an immigration attorney, and the attorney reviewed them for several weeks, sent them off, and we got notice that United States Customs and Immigration Services received them, the adjustment of status package, on February 20th, 2018.
The USCIS received our packet, they called it packet, right?
Package, yeah.
Yeah. So they received it February 20, and last March 7, I received biometric notice, and they scheduled my biometric around March 30, 2018, and I went there on, what is that, USCIS as well? It's not.
It's one of the USCIS offices in Charlotte.
Yeah, so
There was a office, there's several offices in Charlotte. We went to the one on Arrowwood, I think it was, Arrowwood Road.
yeah, so it was really fast. I think it only took around 10 minutes.
Yeah, it wasn't long. All they did was put
just
a fingernail, fingerprint.
Fingerprint, and that's it. And no, a picture that you're going to have on your EAD card, and also on your green card.
What's an EAD card?
EAD is Employment Authorization Document. They're going to use that picture on your card.
Right. Try to let people know what the acronyms are.
Yeah, and so I got my biometrics last March 30, and I received an approval notice last July 17. So how long it takes? So from February 20 to July 17, I think. February, March, April.
It's about 5 months.
No, February, March, April, May, June, July. Oh yeah, it's 5 months. And then so on July 24, I received my employment authorization. Although we applied for employment authorization and then advance parole and also a green card, I did not receive my advance parole. I just received my EAD and green card. And on July 24, I received my employment authorization document, and then the next day, I think it's July 25, I received my SSN, because I'm not able to get my SSN before we got married or after we got married, because they said we have to apply for adjustment of status since my I-94 already expired. So the next day that I received my employment authorization, I received my SSN as well from the mail.
Yeah, that's one thing that they didn't tell us, that we actually went to the Social Security office before the visa, the K-1 visa expired. We went probably 10 days before, and no one told us that Social Security Administration will not issue a number, a Social Security number, if it's within 2 weeks of the K-1 visa expiring. So we found out that, okay, so she needs to apply for the adjustment of status to get the Social Security number. It's not a, it wasn't a big deal, but just to let people know that if you've got a K-1 visa and you want to get a Social Security number, you have to apply at the Social Security Administration office prior to 14 days before your K-1 visa expires.
Yeah, and also other people, what they do, once they arrive in the US, even they're still single, haven't married yet, you can go to SSS.
Social Security Administration.
Yeah, you can go there and you can get your, and then once you got married, you can go back and change that into a married name. But what happened to me, we wanted to get my SSN once we got married so that I don't need to go back, but we found out that you can't get the SS number once it's already expired. So yeah, and also the SS officer told us that once we applied for adjustment of status, we're going to go back and get the number, but we found out once you send the packet, you can there is a box that you can check for you to apply for SSN as well. You don't need to go back to the office of...
Right, there's a box to check on one of the adjustment of status forms.
Yeah.
So when you do the adjustment of status, you just check a box and it automatically applies for the Social Security number at the same time.
And you're going to receive that on your mail after you receive your EAD. Actually, they're almost just on the same time. And last July 3, I received my interview notice that I will going to have my interview on August 9, 2018, and so yeah, that was my scheduled date around 9 a.m. And what happened, sweetheart?
It was really a very straightforward interview. I could tell the interviewer was looking for any signs of fraud. She was looking very carefully at how we responded to questions and what kind of interactions we had between the two of us, and she was very attentive to that type of thing. But in terms of the questions really basically followed the form that we filled out for the adjustment of status. Really, I mean, she went through and I could see that she was looking at the form, and she would ask a question, and when we answered it, when we gave an answer that corresponded with what we had put on the form, the adjustment of status form, then she just made a check and went on to the next question. So basically, she was looking for two major things, I think. One is she was looking for relationship cues just between the two of us, the way that we interacted. And two, she went through the form that we had filed and really just went straight down the form as far as I could tell, asking questions to make sure that what Catherine answered was consistent with what was on the form that we filled out. And I've seen some really stupid advice on some of the forums about if you don't have a form, or if you don't have some information, if you don't have documentation for this or that or the other, then just, you know, make it up. That is the absolute worst thing you could ever do on any of these forms for immigration. If you make up something and they find out, then that's fraud, and you can lose the opportunity to get your green card forever.
Yeah, so before that questions, the very first thing, when we arrived there, the officer, we wait outside, and then they're going to call your number and you're going into a room. It's like
just like someone's office, really.
Yeah, it's like you're going there, just you, the officer, and your husband. You have to be your husband or wife, the petitioner and the beneficiary. You should go there together. That's what it said on the notice. And also just make sure to bring some documents that you sent to them in your packet, just in case they're going to ask something, because there are times that officer gonna lose some of your paper, especially if you did not attach them correctly. Sometimes they're going to miss something, so they advise that you're going to bring those documents that you already sent them, just in case. But in our case, we brought all the documents we had sent already, but they did not ask anything from us. They just asked me if I had a birth certificate of my kids, but I did not bring those. So the officer said she's going to check if I already had the birth certificate, but I'm sure that I already sent them. So
yeah, it was in the packet.
It was already in the packet. And the moment we arrived there in that room, the officer let us sign like a paper, because since we have our lawyer, she asked us to sign that we agree that we're going to have an interview without our lawyer. That's it. And after that, they are just trying to make sure that you are the person that is on the file. So they ask some security questions like your mom's complete name, their birthday, your dad's birthday, and their names, and also my two sons' name and their birthdays as well, just to verify that it's really you, the person on the interview. So all the questions that been asked is really on the packet that you sent. I mean, all the questions from form I-485 they started the question on the part 5. It's like, what is your marital status, like that. So of course you are married, and when did you get married? I'm catching my breath. And then what is the name of your husband or your wife, and the birthday, they asked that as well. And then your current address, they asked that. And also on the part 5, yeah, they asked my kids' names and birthday, just what I said. And also they asked the part 7, it's like your height and even my hair, they asked, right? So they asked that. And also the part 8, and they asked me if I've been working in an organization and what kind of organization it is. And also they asked like the part 8, that is really, the officer is become like really serious and looking eye to eye. It's like, you know, she is trying to make sure that you are telling the truth. They just asked, have you ever been denied admission to the United States? So of course my answer is no. And have you ever been denied a visa to the United States? They asked that as well. And have you ever worked in the United States without authorization? And of course I did not work in the US yet since I arrived.
I-485 Section 8 and question 17, have you ever violated the terms of your non-immigrant status? And all these questions need to be no, which is what we answered. Have you ever been in removal, exclusion, or deportation? No. Have you ever been issued an order of exclusion, deportation? No. Have you ever had an order of deportation? No. Have you ever held permanent resident status which was revoked or rescinded? No. Have you ever been granted departure? In other words, have you ever been ordered to depart but you didn't? No. Have you ever applied for any kind of relief from deportation? No. Have you ever been a J non-immigrant exchange visitor who is subject to the 2-year foreign residence requirement? No. So 24B, Have you complied with the, I'm sorry, that's only if you answer yes to question 24.
Yeah.
25, have you ever been arrested by any law enforcement official or any official of the U.S. Armed Forces? No. Have you ever committed a crime of any kind? No. Have you ever pled guilty or been convicted of a crime? No. Have you ever been ordered punished by a judge? No. Have you ever been a defendant in a criminal proceeding? No. Have you ever violated or conspired to violate any controlled substance law, any drug law? No. Have you ever been convicted of two?
So that's actually that, guys. It's just the questions is just yes or no, but you have to make sure that you're telling the truth. If you did something, you should answer yes, because if you lie to them, they will going to find out, and that would cause a very big problem. So
it's fraud.
yes, so if ever you did something, be honest with your answer. If it's yes, just say yes, and if it's no, just say no. But for me, most of my answer is just no, because my answer is just really a no. So that's really all the questions. It's already in your what is it?
485.
I-485. So whatever you answered there, it should be always
Consistent.
Yeah, consistent. So there's no really other questions. It's just all already in your packet. So there's nothing to worry as long as you answer all the questions honestly and truthfully. I think you'll be fine. Yeah, so I got my interview August 9 and I received my green card August 18. So, and until now I didn't receive my advance parole, and I don't think they're still going to send that. I'm not sure because I already have my green card. So
there's
yeah,
no reason for it.
It's just really easy, guys. Actually, for me, I'm not able to answer my mom's birth year and my dad because I'm so forgetful, but I'm still good as long as I answer the questions on the 1485 and they are much on the packet. So that's all for today, guys, and good luck for your interview, whoever watching this and they're having their interview. So good luck, and I hope you're going to receive your green card as soon as possible as well. Bye, guys.
Bye.
See you again on our next vlog.